Last night, tennis fans were left in complete shock because Novak Djokovic, the 38-year-old Serbian legend who has built his career on dominance, discipline, and an almost unbreakable mentality, admitted something he had never confessed before after falling once again to Carlos Alcaraz at the US Open. For the first time, Djokovic openly acknowledged that facing Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner in grueling 5-set battles feels like climbing a mountain that might be too high. And yet, instead of hiding behind excuses, he stunned the world with raw honesty and respect, declaring that if he must lose, he prefers it to be against these young warriors who are rewriting the future of tennis. His message was both heartbreaking and inspiring, leaving millions wondering, is this the beginning of the Alcaraz era, or does Novak still have one last miracle comeback left in him? At 38 years old, Novak Djokovic knows he is no longer the unstoppable machine that once ruled every Grand Slam, but what makes his story so powerful is that he refuses to walk away quietly, and instead he stares straight at the storm that Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have unleashed on men's tennis. After his semifinal defeat in New York, Djokovic admitted that what used to come naturally to him now takes twice the effort, and that age is a battle he cannot escape. Yet he still refuses to let it define him. He revealed that the hardest part is not just the physical grind, but the frustration of feeling his game slip away at key moments against opponents who are faster, stronger, and hungrier. And yet, even in that honesty, he showed the mindset that made him a 24-time Grand Slam champion. He declared, "I will not give up, I will keep fighting," sending a message that resonated far beyond the court. Because for Djokovic, acknowledging the limits of his body is not surrender, it is fuel, and it is proof that even legends feel the weight of time but never bow their heads to it. What shocked fans even more than his determination was the respect in Djokovic's words, because instead of bitterness, he showed admiration for the very players who now stand in his way. He said that if he has to lose, he would rather it be against Carlos Alcaraz or Jannik Sinner, young champions he believes are worthy of shaping tennis history. Coming from a man who has lifted 24 Grand Slam trophies, those words were monumental. Djokovic made it clear that he sees in them not just rivals but the future of the sport, and that acknowledgement reveals the depth of his greatness. Respecting your opponent when they are the reason you are no longer number one is rare. But Djokovic's gesture captured the essence of a true champion, someone who doesn't just chase victories but also honors the game itself. His fans were stunned because these words were not the fire of a warrior refusing to let go, but the wisdom of a legend who knows the torch is being passed, even if he isn't ready to let it go just yet. When asked why he continues to push his body and mind through battles that seem harder with every passing year, Djokovic gave an answer that revealed a side of him rarely seen. Beyond the trophies and records, he confessed that what truly drives him is the love he receives from the public and the passion he still feels every time he walks onto a court. For him, tennis is no longer just about chasing another number in the history books. It's about feeling the roar of the crowd, the connection with fans who have supported him through triumph and heartbreak, and the pure joy of competing at the highest level. He admitted that, yes, the results are no longer what they once were, but the energy he gets from people around the world keeps his spirit alive. This was a vulnerable, human Djokovic, one who opened his heart and reminded everyone that greatness is not only about winning, it is about inspiring, about giving, and about finding reasons to fight even when everything suggests you should stop. But Djokovic's honesty also shed light on the mountain he faces, because the rise of Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner has changed the landscape of men's tennis in ways no one expected this quickly. For the first time in his career, Djokovic has been unable to take even a single set from these two young giants in his last 3 Grand Slam encounters, something that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. The speed, the consistency, the fearless aggression, they have created a style of play that even the greatest of all time struggles to answer. Alcaraz, at just 22, has already collected 6 Grand Slams, while Sinner has cemented himself as a relentless challenger, and together, they have built a duopoly that Novak himself admits feels almost impossible to break in best-of-5 matches. For fans, this is the clearest sign yet that a new era is underway, one where the young lions no longer wait for legends to step aside, they take the throne themselves, leaving Djokovic fighting to prove that his chapter is not finished. While Djokovic shows respect, not everyone shares the same tone, and that's where Boris Becker, a legend of the game himself, lit the fire with brutal criticism. Becker didn't hold back when addressing the rest of the ATP field, blasting players like Alexander Zverev, Taylor Fritz, Holger Rune, Casper Ruud, Daniil Medvedev, and others for what he sees as complacency in the face of Alcaraz and Sinner's dominance. Quarterfinals are fine, semifinals are fine, no, they are not fine if you want to be the best, Becker raged, insisting that too many players have already accepted the idea that Carlos and Jannik are simply superior. He accused them of lacking the mentality to strategize, to truly believe they can knock these giants down. As an example, Becker pointed to Felix Auger-Aliassime, one of the few who dared to mix up tactics and play with aggression to challenge Sinner. For Becker, it's not rocket science, it's about belief and risk-taking. His words added fuel to the growing debate. Is the new era too strong, or is the rest of the field simply giving up too easily? And while legends and analysts debate, the numbers themselves tell a story that is impossible to ignore. At just 22 years, 4 months, and 2 days, Carlos Alcaraz has already captured 6 Grand Slam titles, 2 US Opens, 2 Wimbledons, and 2 Roland Garros crowns. That is a pace faster than even the big three at the same age. Nadal had 5 by that time, Federer only 1, and Djokovic just 1 as well. To be ahead of them at this stage doesn't guarantee the same legendary career, but it paints a picture of a prodigy rewriting the rules. What shocks fans most is not only how quickly Alcaraz has lifted these trophies, but how complete his game looks already. The explosive forehand, the fearless net play, the incredible defense, and the stamina to outlast anyone in marathon matches. He is not simply winning, he is dominating opponents who once seemed untouchable. This meteoric rise has many wondering if tennis history is not just repeating itself, but accelerating, with Alcaraz threatening to crush every record before he even reaches his prime. Jannik Sinner's perspective after the US Open final only confirmed what the world had seen. Filippo Volandri, captain of the Italian Davis Cup team, admitted bluntly that Sinner felt Alcaraz was simply more powerful, more complete, and at a level that he could not match on that night. Every time Jannik tried to accelerate, Carlos responded with an even heavier shot, breaking his rhythm and confidence. Even Sinner's greatest weapon, his consistency under pressure seemed to falter, as unforced errors crept in at the worst moments. Volandri praised his players' resilience but made it clear, in that final, Alcaraz looked untouchable. For Sinner, who has himself been a symbol of this new generation's rise, the loss was a harsh reminder that while he is elite, he still faces a rival who can push him into doubt. Yet, the Italian captain also highlighted that Sinner remains the best in the world under pressure, and that this defeat, painful as it was, could serve as fuel. Because if the future belongs to Alcaraz and Sinner together, the rivalry between them may shape the sport just as Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic once did. And then came the words of Rafael Nadal, the Spanish icon whose shadow still looms large over the sport. Speaking at a charity event, Nadal praised Alcaraz's trajectory as incredible and admitted that winning 6 Grand Slams at just 22 years old is something even he never achieved. But beyond admiration, Nadal also delivered advice that carried the weight of experience. Enjoy the moment, work every day to improve, and above all, protect your body from injuries. He reminded Alcaraz that greatness is built not only on talent but on longevity, and that the difference between a bright star and a legend lies in how you handle the grind of the years. Nadal also resisted comparisons between the Big Three era and this new one, insisting that each generation must live its own story without endless debates of who is better or worse. His message was clear: stop comparing and start appreciating. For fans, Nadal's words felt like a symbolic passing of the torch, an elder champion, acknowledging that Spain's future in tennis is secure in the hands of a young warrior destined to carry the flame. The message from New York was clear. A new chapter in tennis has begun, but the story of Novak Djokovic is not over. His words after losing to Alcaraz revealed both the weight of time and the unbreakable will that made him a legend. At the same time, Alcaraz's rapid rise, Sinner's resilience, Becker's harsh criticism, and Nadal's wisdom all point to a sport in transition. The Big Three define 2 decades of tennis dominance, but now a fresh rivalry is rewriting the script faster than anyone imagined. What makes this moment so compelling is the collision of eras, the old guard refusing to let go, the new generation surging with unstoppable force, and legends like Nadal urging balance and perspective. For fans, it means we are witnessing history in motion, a passing of the torch, happening not in silence, but in epic 5-set battles under the brightest lights. Djokovic's fight continues, Alcaraz's star keeps burning hotter, and Sinner waits for his moment of glory. The only question is whether Novak has one last miracle left, or if the Alcaraz era is here to stay.